Hi, welcome to Messier Mantra. I'm your host, Mike Messier. On this episode, we have a very good friend of mine. She's an actor, and her name is LaNecia Edmonds.
Hey, Mike.
Good to have you back. We had you on a previous episode where we shared a short film that we worked together on. And this episode, we have another short film we worked together on called Thanksgiving. Anything you want to say about Thanksgiving before we check it out?
Just that it was really fun to work with all these people. I've actually never worked with these people before, so very interesting.
Nick Gifford, Robert Ellis Smith,
Yep.
and our crew of Chris Hunter and James Russell DeMello. So let's check out Thanksgiving. Let's check out Thanksgiving right here on Messier Mantra, starring LaNecia Edmonds.
CHELO'S.
Well, I know that in a general sense, but why now specifically?
You're not afraid of anything, not even family garbage.
You're lucky to have a family to have garbage with.
You're gonna be warm in here, Frank.
Thought I'd take my jacket off, sir.
Aren't you gonna call me Dad yet?
Let me introduce you to somebody.
I think we've met.
No, we haven't. This is my first time here, Mr.
Mr. Blackstone.
That's a nice name. May we sit down?
Is everything okay, Dad? Sir? Sir, may I have a moment?
Yes, Frank, what is it?
You were staring. You were staring at my date. A little intensely. It was making me uncomfortable.
It's all right, Frank.
I'm afraid it's not. Perhaps we ought to leave.
I'm sorry, Frank. That's not necessary. And your date's name is?
Trisha. My name is Trisha.
Glad to meet you, Trisha.
It's nice to meet you.
What the hell's going on here?
We had a relationship, your father and I.
Your father and I. That makes it sound like you're my mother.
Oh, ew, don't think that way.
You kids, you doing okay?
Okay, yes, we're fine.
Good. I like to see young people doing well.
Young people, we're almost 30.
I know. Trisha was an undergrad when we first met.
An undergrad?
College. Back when I was teaching. I was teacher-student at first, and then it developed.
Developed?
We had a certain chemistry, didn't we, Roger?
Roger? Roger?
Yes, she called me that.
Nobody calls you Roger, sir, not since Mom.
Not since your mother, and not since Gloria, my second wife. Or Monica, my third. And you see, Tricia here, she was almost my fourth. My little taste of brown sugar.
Oh, this is disgusting.
What?
You will remember, son, there was a time when a 10-year gap when you weren't speaking to me.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
At an unfortunate time, Trish. You know, every boy has to come into his own, I suppose. My son chose to do it at an unfortunate time. My wife had just passed.
Franklin's mother?
No, my second wife. Frankie's mom was long gone by then.
Oh, sounds complicated.
So it is. Such is life, my dear.
Such is life, Mr. Blackstone. Oh, is that why you and Frank don't have the same last name?
He changed it. Wanted to honor his mother.
A mama's boy.
A mama's boy.
Enough! Enough of this garbage.
What garbage, Frank? It's Thanksgiving.
A tender time, Frank. A time for family.
A time for forgiveness. I forgive you, son. I love you.
I hate you and everything that you stand for, you creepy womanizing freak.
Put down that knife, Franklin.
And you, what are you anyway? A woman for hire?
How dare you?
When were you gonna tell me?
Tonight, I guess. We didn't know.
I had no idea.
I never thought I'd see your father again. The last name threw me. I saw the name on the house and suspected, but you never know.
You never know.
You never know.
We should just celebrate. As a family.
That was Thanksgiving, a short film that stars my good friend, LaNecia Edmonds. That was a fun one.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
So much fun. And the product is hilarious,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It's some good hijinks. And you have your own personal, as an actor, catchphrase, "How dare you?" That's a big
Seems to be my thing.
Yeah, how dare you? I like working on that piece with you, and like you said, it ran smooth. We had like a 2-day shoot, and
Yes.
yeah, describe that process. That was November of was that 2014, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about that process a little bit.
That was fun because I'd never worked with James before.
Right.
And he came in with all the weird types of gadgets that, you know, people who are behind the camera usually have or
Right.
invent. And so that part was interesting because I've never really seen some of those gadgets and stuff put together in film. Like the
Right.
filming outside the car, I've never been in a scene like that before. You know, and that was interesting the way that they had done that. Working with Nick and Rob,
Right.
such a fun time.
Yeah.
Such a fun time.
Yeah.
And Rob did a good job at certain parts, you know, kind of, you know, going, yeah, we had a relationship, yeah. And I'm like, Rob, don't be creepy.
Robert Ellis Smith,
Yeah.
Bob also we call him. And he played the father, Roger, and you mentioned James Russell DeMello, who's the
Yep.
key grip in the first AC, and Chris Hunter, who was our cinematographer and edited the piece. And it was like, yeah, it was pretty, you know, tight. You
Yeah.
know. So that's just 6 of us pretty much made that movie. And then we had some additional help from my friends Sam Otterson and Tommy DiNucci helped with some post editing. So I want to thank them. And we really had, I really liked the piece,
Yep.
you know, and
I love the story as well, too.
yeah.
It's a pretty awesome twist.
Thanks. Yeah, that kind of came to me. Remember where I was? I was in Java Madness, you know, in my coffee house haunts in South County, and trying to put this piece together, and wrote it pretty efficiently. Like, just had like knowing that I was going to work with Nick Gifford and Robert Smith, Robert Ellis Smith, and I was like, okay, who's an actress that's really going to, you know, female actor, who's really going to bring this together and work with these guys and complement them? And I thought of you immediately. So I'm like, okay, what situation can we have these three characters in now? And this is what came to mind, you know. So really liked the execution, and like you said, we had a great time making it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, it was cool. Speaking of family, because this is a family-based drama, so was there anything about this project that you kind of correlated or used a substitution technique or anything like that as far as acting to kind of get into character while we're doing this?
To get into character, I've never dated a teacher or anything like that, but I have dated, you know, an older man before. Not considerably old, but let's say at least 10 to 15 years older than I am.
Sure.
So that is kind of just stemming from, you know, personal experience, and go, yes, he's an older man. Yes, he has, you know, certain things that a younger man necessarily doesn't want, but then you always have to take a step back. So as from a character perspective, I can see why she would have dated a teacher. Right. You know, but then maybe it just didn't work out because either she had goals of her own, maybe she wanted kids, or, you know, or something along the line, those types of lines where an older relationship wouldn't necessarily work.
Okay, sure. Interesting. Yeah, good research. And then we just did a couple of table reads and some real, and a lot of it came together on set, which I liked. It was a very good experience, and just had a good time doing that one. And then just to kind of bring a family element into this, we're talking off camera about your tribe, so to speak, and it has a lot to do with Seekonk and the history. Tell us more about that.
Well, I am part of the Seekonk Wampanoag tribe. And the Wampanoag tribe is split into a few other different tribes, but all have the surname of Wampanoag. And turns out, I found out at one of our meetings that everyone is still family. So, which is a good thing, you know. So you can still kind of lean on the other family members in the other tribes. No one's going to shun you. Right. It's just that, just like with many families, not everyone gets along.
Sure. Now, is there any way, for the viewing audience in Seekonk, is there any projects or any type of awareness that, you know, is there anything going on with the tribe that people here in Seekonk or anywhere are watching, anything the non-members should know about that they should be aware of, or?
Well, our tribe is currently now working on the City Hall project to get it, you know, where it needs to be. We bought City Hall, I believe, very cheaply from the city, and now it's our job to get it up to code so that, you know, we can possibly rent it out for birthdays, baby showers, bar mitzvahs, and things of that nature. So I think right now my tribe is trying to discuss ways into how to get it up to code and the cost of that. And I'm pretty sure there'll be tons of fundraisers coming out soon as to, in order to get the funds to hire the contractor, either for the new roof or, you know, for things inside. And then we also have a powwow every September, which is usually Labor Day weekend. And so come out and support that.
And it's open to the public?
It's open to the public. There's dancing, there's vendors, and there's food. And by vendors, it's like Native American jewelry. You can get moccasins. And then other types of things like shirts and Native Pride sweatshirts and hats. You know, my favorite thing is the wampum. You know, so
is that what you're wearing right now?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. That's a very nice piece. Yeah.
Yep. So there should be plenty of vendors for that. And then also they have our MC will try to give a little bit of background on history. You know, either how the people come to be or what the certain traditions are of the certain dances.
Do you know what venue this is going to be, or is that to be determined?
Not off the top of my head. I wish I could remember. But there are a few groups on Facebook that will have that information up, you know, come around July. So I'll be sure to try and spread the word.
Sounds good. I like hearing about that because it kind of ties into CConk and everything that you're doing, and it's a nice tie-in from there. What are some of your aspirations in life, LaNecia?
Aspirations in life? Besides to be all that I can be?
Everything you got. What's on?
Well,
what do you think?
Let's say in personal life,
Yes.
I would like to, you know, be able to successfully raise a family.
Yes.
And be able to give my children some of the things that I wasn't fortunate to have. But also not necessarily give it to them. You know, I'm going to have them work and things of that nature, you know, to build character, because no one's going to understand anything if you give it to them.
Right.
You know, things have to be learned along the way in life. And for my acting, I would just like to strive to be the best actor that I could possibly be.
Nice.
You know, whether it be here in Boston or venturing out to New York or even eventually to California.
Nice. And speaking of family, and for those that are watching this episode, maybe even caught your previous episode here on the Mantra that we featured in the bedroom web series, Marriage is Bliss episode, thanks to Seth Chitwood and Angelwood Pictures. But you know, we had that episode, but on this episode, they may not know the good news, which is
I'm currently 4.5 months pregnant, so hopefully I can get some good print roles, you know, or you know, with pregnancy moms as soon as the belly comes in. It's not quite here, but it's coming.
And tell us about your soon-to-be husband, Dr. Clay.
Yep, Dr. Wood. Very, very awesome guy. We just clicked. We were on the same team right from the beginning, and we make sure to keep communication open, because listening to other people, I realized that communication is such a big problem.
Right.
Either in a relationship, in a business relationship, or just in life in general. You know, people don't communicate well. So in order to be a good team, to run a good business, communication is key. So we work well together in that aspect, and we share great ideals for raising a family, and we made sure to have all those conversations ahead of time before we decided to start our own.
It's important stuff, because so many people, you know, unfortunately we see a lot of couples who rush into things, or they don't have these, you know, they have different, say, you know,
discipline methods,
or even religious beliefs, or how they deal with their family, or so on and so forth, and then they get together and say, we're just going to wing this thing, and next thing you know, lots of problems, and it's not good for anybody, you know. So shame. But I think it's great, because I've met the husband-to-be, and he's a real nice guy, and funny guy too.
Funny, yep. He's also, so because, you know, I work in the science field and he works in the medical field, we always have to have a hobby or something to occupy either the other side of the brain, or so you don't have an idle mind. So mine is acting, and he's actually a writer. He's written 3 books right now, and he's working on his 4th, and he's trying to get published as well. So
it's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Well, have me adapt one of these books into a screenplay, and then you can star in it.
That's what I was telling him. I was like, you have very good stories, but did you ever think about becoming a screenwriter? And he's just like, no. I'm like, you could do it.
The film and, you know, film medium is, you know, what a lot of general public relate to.
Right. And
maybe venturing forth into web series and, you know, episodic television or cable TV is, you know, probably the biggest thing right now. So,
yes.
You know, because the shows on your Showtime Network, HBO, USA Now, all those.
Even Netflix.
Netflix, yeah, you're right. So all those things, maybe, you know, you guys should think about. And so one thing, when I first met you, a very attractive young lady, but then you started doing something to take it to the next level.
Yes.
What was that?
I started to work out.
Right.
I started to work out. First, it started with Zumba. Right. And love to dance, love Zumba. Got my instructor's license and tried to venture out and do that. Unfortunately, I'm a cyclic person, so once I was like, okay, I have my license, I'm going to venture out, I found something else that caught my attention, so I put that on hold, and the other part was sort of bodybuilding.
Okay.
So granted, I haven't gone out on stage, but I did start to lift weights and then lift heavy, and really, really enjoy that. And I encourage all women to go out and lift heavy weights. You know, you're not going to get like that woman you see on stage unless you're taking like testosterone patches.
Right.
It's just, it's not possible.
Yeah.
So all the women that fear that they're going to get bulky, no, it's not true.
So this is interesting because as far as the exercise world, basically coming at it, see, I don't know too much about Zumba, basically what you've told me. So tell me more about the Zumba for the audience members who might be curious about it.
Sure. Zumba is not necessarily a weightlifting exercise. It's more of a cardio exercise. So they focus on different types of music, ranging, you know, from Latin to Brazil and different genres like that. And they combine them in the class. So in the class, the teacher either can make up their own moves or they can do the assigned moves from the Zumba company themselves. And so that they have like a decent playlist. And it should be a lot of fun. Not everyone's going to get it the first time. I know a lot of people go into class going, I'm going to get this first time.
Right,
and it's like, give it a few classes, you know, before you start to get the moves going and stuff like that. But it was really a good outlet for me. And it was also a good stepping stone to get myself into the gym.
Right.
You know, because I know a lot of times people go to the gym and then feel intimidated. Well, start with the class first. See how you feel about this class or another class or piloxing or whatever tickles your fancy, you know. And then if you feel good and you want to improve and you want to lift weights, you know, get a trainer. I always encourage women to get a trainer so that they can show you how to use the machines safely, so they can teach you proper form. I mean, there's a lot of what people call bro science out there, and it's just what, I don't want to say guys necessarily, but it's what everyone learns from everyone in the gym, and the form might not necessarily be correct, and you could be working out different muscles than what you think you are. So that's why I always say, get a trainer who's going to teach you how to do it properly and safely.
Was the term bro science?
Yeah.
That's funny. Does that correlate to the nutrition, to the diet? Like, hey, I had 18 egg whites this morning, and
some of it, you know. And I don't want to tag bro science because it's also a thing on Facebook, and they really do have very good articles. Okay. But it's just like anything else. Do your research.
Right.
You know.
And did you say boxing?
Piloxing.
That's
like Pilates boxing.
Oh man,
yeah.
I'm out of the loop. So
yeah. It's really good for the core.
Interesting. I went to a meditation class last Friday, and I'm still experiencing my Zen. So
that's great.
Yeah, it was
Meditation
nice.
is awesome too. Yeah. It's very awesome, and I feel like that's one of the easiest things that you could probably start off with.
Right, and then it was after the meditation class. I can't even pronounce it. Being able to Kwong, something. It was like a movement class.
Okay.
That was very simple in theory, but like basically you do like 3 or 4 of the same movements. The teacher does not speak. You just kind of follow the lead, and it was so intense for what it was. It was just like, and there was a lot of senior citizens in the class. They all got it, and I'm like, all right, trying to follow this guy. And it's just interesting. And I was like, should I wear my glasses so I can see better, or my eyes not going to be relaxed? If I, it was interesting.
You're gonna sweat. Your glasses are gonna slip down.
Right. I did start to exceed a little perspiration because I don't sweat. I exceed perspiration.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You glisten.
Yeah, I glisten. like a rare rabbit. Now we just have a few minutes left, and weightlifting.
Yes.
Talk to me about that for a minute or two.
Sure. It's one of the things that I found very beneficial in order to shape the way that your body looks. Because you could be very thin, but you don't have any muscle to you.
Right.
I enjoy seeing the muscle in my arms and things like that. I enjoy seeing that. I enjoy lifting heavy weights and then feeling the soreness the next day. Because I know a lot of people who try to lift weights or attempt either do too much in the beginning,
right.
And then they're super sore all over, and then you can't work out. But the soreness is a good thing. It means, hey, you're working your muscle. It's very good.
Because you have to tear down the muscles to build them back up.
Exactly.
Is that the theory?
Yeah, that's the theory. Yep. And I even do it now that I'm pregnant.
Right.
You know, I'm still lifting. I'm still, you know, doing deadlifts and bench pressing and things like that. I just have to take more time in between sets, and you know, and I can't lift as heavy as I used to.
Right.
You know, I have to dial it back a little bit.
Yeah, be aware of what's going on.
Exactly, and knowing your body too.
Right.
Knowing and trusting your body. If your body goes, no, stop, then just stop. Don't
Baby's
push.
going to come out and it's like, I need a protein bar.
Right.
I need some Gatorade, you know, post-workout. You know. I don't know if the baby might not even be speaking at that point. But that's exciting to have the child coming and you know, still working out and stuff. And you and I were talking off camera about, you know, some ladies kind of just like, I'm going to get pregnant and gain 1,000 pounds. Like, you don't want to do that.
No, you don't. You don't. I've gotten a lot of advice from other women who had gained, you know, significant amount of weight and say how challenging it is to get it off afterwards. And so much of their advice was, you know, don't gain a ton of weight. You also don't need to. I've done some research and it says all you really need is an extra 300 calories.
Okay.
You know, so you really don't need that much. The baby is going to take what it needs from you. You know.
I remember some of our core acting classes, a workshop I was leading, you would come in after your Zumba workouts or your weightlifting workouts and you have like little Tupperwares full of chicken breasts and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, LaNecia knows what she's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you kind of had, was that something you do? You plan out your meals in the morning?
Yes,
and,
it's meal prep. Me and Dr. Wood, we meal prep once a week. We make the chicken or the steak, put it in the Tupperware containers, put it in the fridge, and that way we always have our meals planned.
Wow.
And then we can also record what we're eating so that we know exactly, you know, where our calories are going and the macronutrients and things like of that nature. How much protein am I getting? You know, so that way you don't go overboard with sodium or too much processed foods.
That's great.
Yeah.
We just have about 30 seconds left. So is there any parting mantra or words of wisdom you want to share with the Messier Mantra audience?
Do not let your dreams limit you.
Interesting. Because some people kind of like, they have those dreams and they don't even approach them.
Right.
What you're saying is don't even let the dreams limit you.
Right.
It's interesting. I like that. LaNecia Edmonds, Messier Mantra, actor, soon-to-be mom.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on the Messier Mantra.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for watching this episode of Messier Mantra with our special guest, my good friend LaNecia Edmonds. We'll see you next time on Messier Mantra.